We all know sitting too much isn't great for our backs, but did you know it can also affect your pelvic floor? If you sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, work from home, drive a lot, or binge Netflix every night, this episode is for you. The good news is you don't have to stop sitting. You just need to interrupt it. So happy you're here. This is another topic that I got from my Instagram poll. In my stories asked, okay, what do you want to hear? And sitting too much got high click rate. I guess we'll call it that. So we all do it. We sit a lot. I sit a lot. I teach during the day but the afternoon I'm sitting a lot. Our bodies are designed to move. When we stay in one position for hours, muscles become stiff, circulation slows, breathing becomes shallower, our posture will change, and tension starts to build. And your pelvic floor is a part of that whole system. So when one area gets tight, everything starts to compensate. So this is a whole body connection. The pelvic floor doesn't work alone. It's connected to your diaphragm, your deep core, your hips, your spine. And we've talked about this in past episodes. So when you're slouched at your desk, your rib cage collapses, your diaphragm can't move well, your breathing becomes shallow, and your pelvic floor can't move through its full range easily. So this is less about bad posture and more about staying in one position for too long. And I hear this a lot when I talk to women to learn about them, to learn about their habits. And we talk about breathing habits. And I ask them, I say, well, what breathing patterns do you have? And it's like shallow breathing, chest breathing. And they're just, everything is more in the upper thoracic of breathing, and we're not using our diaphragm to breathe. So we tend to become more shallow with our breathing, and we chest breathe. And a lot of that has to do with our alignment. So another muscle too, so we're talking about the diaphragm, we're talking about sitting and how our rib cage can collapse and when we're in that kind of like slouched over position. Another muscle is your psoas. So I talk a lot about the psoas, and when you sit, your hips stay bent, your hip flexors shorten, and the psoas becomes tighter. And this can contribute to hip pain, low back discomfort, feeling tight when you stand, and even changes in how your pelvis sits. Your psoas is a muscle that wraps from your lower spine, and it comes across the front of the body and inserts into your hip flexors. When we sit, this muscle shortens. And I mentioned that this can also pull your pelvis out of alignment. And if your pelvis isn't moving well, it's harder for your core and pelvic floor to work together. So sitting for long times can also affect your hips, your diaphragm. So it just really, and it's all wrapped into one, and we create a lot of that tension. So signs that you are sitting too much. Well, first of all, you're probably like, well, I sit for 8 hours a day. I get up for lunch and then I sit again. Or I get up for lunch and then I sit again to eat lunch, and then I come back to my desk and I sit again. So you might start to feel your hips feel tight after work. You have low back stiffness, neck and shoulder tension. Hello, this is me. Oh, neck and shoulder tension for sure. Jaw clenching, definitely me. Shallow breathing, we talked about that earlier. Feeling stiff when you first stand up. So if you've been sitting for like hours and you stand up and you're like, oh my God, ow. Okay, that's definitely a sign you're sitting too much. So this is a sign that your body just needs movement. It doesn't need a workout. It doesn't need you to go and do a full-on workout. It just means move your body. So let's get into our tips. So tip number 1, set a movement timer. Every 30, 60 minutes, stand up, walk to fill your water bottle, go to the bathroom. Although I'm going to say that with a grain of salt. Don't go pee just in case. Maybe walk to the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror and come back. So going to the bathroom doesn't mean peeing. It could just be, okay, I'm going to go freshen up. Take a lap around the office. If you work from home, or you can even do this in your office, go walk outside. Even like 1 minute of movement is going to help. So set that timer, have it go off every 30, 60 minutes. And it could just be like, okay, I'm going to get up for 30 seconds. That's going to be more than what you were doing the day before. So if we're sitting for 8 hours, what we're trying to do is we're just trying to undo that sitting for so long with just some little introduction of movement. And you're probably going to need a timer to be able to keep up with it. Because if you're anything like me and you're really into working, if there's no timer going, then the next thing you know, you look at your clock and you're like, oh my God, 3 hours have gone by. So definitely set a timer. Tip number 2, stretch while you're working. So you don't even have to leave your desk. You can reach both arms up over your head, do some nice side bends to open up, to stretch out through the diaphragm, stretch out through the rib cage, do some shoulder rolls, do some chin tucks. I'm doing them right now and I can feel that tightness in my back. Maybe some spinal twist. So twisting while seated at your desk. Stand up, do some hip flexor stretches, hamstring stretches. 1.2 I will let you guys know about is when you're seated, make sure you're sitting on your sits bones. Over time, you might start to tuck your pelvis in and round through the back. So just make sure, maybe rock back and forth on your sits bones. So again, we're just adding some movement, some blood flow, some getting that energy back into the body. So you can do it seated or standing. I would recommend to stand. But again, if you just kind of want a quick, get some movement into my upper body, then just introduce some seated movement. Tip number 3, check in with your posture and breathing. So you can also use that timer. Every time your timer goes off, ask, am I holding my breath? Are my shoulders up to my ears? Am I clenching my jaw? Am I gripping my bum? Can I take one slow 360 breath? So that one good breath, that one good adjustment can completely reset yourself, reset your posture. So use that timer to also check in with yourself, right? Am I now slunched over like Quasimodo? And, you can see how I even just shrunk here if you're watching on YouTube when I slouch over. So if we're shrunk down, it's going to be harder to breathe. It's going to be creating a lot of tension. Okay. So just make sure, use that timer and check in with yourself throughout the day. Remember, your body isn't asking you to sit perfectly. It's asking you to not stay frozen for hours. Small movement breaks can make a huge difference. Not only for your back and your hips, but for your breathing, your core, and your pelvic floor. So set that timer, get up and move, check in with your posture, and just start to be aware of that, aware of how you're sitting. And then also know that your diaphragm, your pelvic floor, they're working together. Your hips, your back, it's a team of muscles, your deep core. And we don't want to create that tension all day long. Sitting all day doesn't automatically cause pelvic floor problems, but over time, staying in one position for hours can contribute to pelvic floor dysfunctions because muscles become tighter and stiffer, breathing becomes shallower, and your core system isn't moving and working in a way it was designed to. So the extra tension, the lack of movement can contribute to urgency or always feeling like you have to pee, pelvic pressure or heaviness, hip pain, low back pain, increased pelvic floor tension, and constipation for some women. This is why movement throughout the day is so important. Regular movement reduces muscle tension, improves circulation, and helps your diaphragm and pelvic floor work together, and it keeps your hips, spine, and pelvis moving well. If you are already experiencing these symptoms, movement breaks won't fix everything overnight, but they can absolutely help improve how your body feels. And if you're symptom-free, these small habits are a great way to prevent issues down the road. Your pelvic floor loves variety, not staying in one position all day. If you're sitting and listening to this, now get up and go move your body. And if you want more simple tips like this, make sure you follow Potty Talk. Make sure you subscribe. There's a new episode every single Tuesday. And I have short, practical tips designed to help you build a stronger pelvic floor. And we're going to do this one habit at a time. Thanks again so much for listening. Get up, move your body, and have an awesome rest of your day.